Hey everybody, Garcia here. Today we're taking a look at a beautiful abstract game from India. This is Ettana, the Looms of Kanchi. While this game is very much an abstract game, it does have a theme, and that theme is looms. In it, you are weaving looms. You are going to be moving your piece around, moving these tokens that represent the different threads of this loom, and weaving patterns is the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on the table how the game works, what it all looks like. It's a very attractive game. I'm going to be showing you a game for 2 players, and then I will see you on the other side for some final thoughts on this one. Here I have a game set up for 2 players, which is actually how I recommend the game, and the objective of the game is for the players to get 8 victory points, or 8 annas as the game calls them, and you are going to be doing that by building patterns out here with the yarns. These are the yarns that have been put out randomly, and those are on these goal cards right here. So let's take a look at one of them. This one here has a pattern on it, and so you'll see it involves all 5 colors. I need to have a color there, and then the other 4 colors, 1 each in those spots. Now, the colors presented on the card don't matter. They're just giving you a pattern. Which colors you do that with is unimportant, and you can rotate this freely, okay? So once you achieve that, you'll be able to play this out, and once you get to 8 points, then you will win the game, okay? So on your turn, this side is going to be the orange pawn. That side will be that black pawn there. On your turn, you're going to roll both of these dice. Once that's done, the first thing you check is the color die. And the players are going to get 1 of these for every matching color yarn that is around them. In this case, we will both get 1. I have a red one right here next to me. This player has 1 there next to them. So I'll take 1. They get 1. And then I can take actions, okay? The very first thing I can do is I can trade in this goal, put it on the bottom, and take another one from the top of the pile. If I do that, however, my turn is done. I do nothing else, not even moving, which is normally mandatory. So let's say I'm not doing that. The other actions I have access to are right here. And so the actions I can take are, I can spend 3 of these and draw another goal. I can spend 2 of them and draw an action card. And we begin with 1 of each as well as 2 of these, okay? I can spend 3 of these and switch any 2 yarns anywhere on the board. The other things I can do is I can move, and I have to move, like I said, unless I switch out the goal here. So I rolled a 5, so I have a couple of options here. I can play a card that one of the action cards is a move. It supersedes that move, and I just do what it says. Or I can move 5 spaces without doubling back over the same one, or I can just jump to a 5 anywhere out there. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or I could just go to that 5 or that 5. If you cross another player on that path, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I cross that player, I'm allowed to do that. I cannot end with someone else, but I can cross them. I have to give them 1 of these, okay? Once I arrive somewhere, let's say I go there, then I am allowed to, for free, switch 2 of the yarns around me. So I might swap these 2 colors, for example, like that, okay? I can also play action cards. This one here, for example, and all the action cards are listed on the back of your player aid. This one would let me, before I roll, I could preset the color and then roll only the number. And there's all sorts of things, okay, that can happen there. You can steal an action card from someone else. You can swap the positions of any 2 yarns on the board. You can call out a number, roll the dice, and then gain the number of tokens if you rolled that or more. So I can do that. I can roll again. There's a roll again. I can move the pin to any unoccupied space. This is my pin. So there's, again, all sorts of things over here on the player aid. But once I'm done manipulating whatever I can also play these as an action. I'll be done. And then it'll be the other player's go. So they'll roll. Red. I have no reds around me. They have a red around them, so they'll get 1 of those. And then they'll take their actions. They can move 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can swap 2 things. Maybe they'll swap these. And again, you are attempting to simply achieve these. So here they need 1 in the middle, and then 2 around that are the same color, and 2 further out that are the same color. So you might look at the board and go, okay, well, where can I do that? If I swap this red and this blue, and then if this player then would go to here, they can land there, for example, or there, then they can swap these 2, or you can pay to do that, right? And then they've achieved it. So 1 in the middle, 2, and then 2 further out. Again, the colors don't matter. Once they've done that, they're going to play this out, and they have 1 point. You continue doing this, using the action cards, drawing more of the goals, managing your tokens so you can take some of the special abilities, trying to get to 8 points. The first person that achieves that is going to be the winner in the game. That is Ettana. This is a very surprising game. It's a game that, like I said in the opening, is from India. It's by an Indian designer, and it has this theme about, looms in India. So it's got a very interesting and authentic sort of feel to it, and that comes through really in everything it attempts to do. There are things in this game that I think in other games I might find a little, not chaotic, but a little sort of lacking, that in this game I kind of find charming and kind of find just engaging and part of the whole. So, couple of minor things I don't love, okay? The first one, the theme. Not that I don't like it. It's an abstract game. I usually tend to not give a positive or a negative to an abstract game. But in this one, the game is very charming. So I like what's going on in the game. And some of the terminology is going to be a little bit tricky, perhaps, just to learn it. But it really, that sort of goes away and gets out of the way very quickly. And you're not going to be thinking, in my opinion, about the fact that what you're doing is sort of working with, a loom. So there's that. And the other thing, slightly bigger problem, is the replay value. I like the fact that there are a lot of patterns. That deck is not a small deck of cards. And I like the action cards in the game. They're going to liven up the whole proceedings. I don't think the game scales very well. It plays 2 to 4 players, and I would recommend you stick with 2. With more players, you start getting into unintended chaos. Or maybe intended chaos, I don't know. But you start getting into an area of gameplay that starts to feel like you're dealing with things outside of your control, and it's the other player's fault. Whereas the things in the game that are outside of your control at 2 players is mostly no one's fault. You roll the die and can't use it, or you have a pattern that's too hard and you should probably just trade it away, things like that. So I don't think it scales particularly well. I would recommend it at 2 players, all right? So everything else I do enjoy in it. The aesthetics. The card quality could certainly be better in this game. But everything else in it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got attractive rulebook, very nice board. The components in this game, as you saw in the overview, come in these bags, these mesh bags, and they are just a beautiful little touch. Player aids in here. The inside of the box is nice. This thing is built like a tank, this box. So there's that as well. I have no problems here except for the card quality with the way this game was constructed and the way it looks. It works together very nicely. Replay value, I've already talked about. The game arc. It's tense and it's engaging. I like what's going on. It's a race to only 8 points. So you play a couple of cards out and you start seeing the end, you start already being able to sort of jump on it and get to it. So I like that the scores are short. I like that there is no scoring at the end. It's a race. Cross the threshold first, and you win the whole thing. The game is thinky. There's that sort of pattern building thinkiness to it, but it's in a fun way. It's in a lighthearted kind of way. When I first read the rules and saw some of those pattern cards, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is going to be a tremendously slow-playing game. But you know what? It doesn't come across that way. On your turn, you change a couple of things maybe, and you start building up those tokens. And eventually, you then go, I spend 3, move this and this, I spend 3 more, swap this and this, there's my pattern. And it gets, as you sort of build up power just by the chance of the die roll, it starts to become easier, and then you achieve something, and you're like, reset. Okay, what's next? So I like the cadence of it, I think works well. The ease of play. It's good. It's got a great player rate. And everybody's got one of those, double-sided as you saw. Very nice. It works well. And the turn structure is pretty simple. The only thing you need to worry about is, hey, if you're going to swap out the gold card, that's all you can do after you roll the dice, but you don't move. So that works well. No issues there. Lastly, tactics, luck, strategy. And this is kind of what I was alluding to at the beginning. This game has luck. A decent amount of luck. And it's got tactics, the pattern building. Players can mess with you and just inadvertently sort of switch things. And also directly by playing a card and stealing one of yours, by doing, whatever. But the game, especially with 2, manages to feel charming and innocent and like its own thing, as opposed to swingy and derivative and a bad mix of too much luck in a tactical abstract game. Most abstract games, I don't want luck in there. I certainly wouldn't want what amounts to basically a roll and move in most abstract games. In this game, I have no issue with that. It's part of the package. It's an integral part of the package. I like the color die giving us tokens. It's like a Catan sort of moment, and I like it. It works in this one. I like the die roll for movement. I like that you have to put up with the action cards that other players play sometimes, but that there are some great ones in there. Most of them don't hurt other people. Most of them just help you. So I like those. The artwork on those is gorgeous, so that helps the ambiance as well. The whole thing brings together luck and tactics in a way that works for me. It transports me to a different mindset than when I'm playing gamer games, right? And I enjoy it. I think it's a beautiful game for someone who is who's just charmed by the concepts of gaming in general. I think this is one you might enjoy. I certainly would recommend you go out and try to find it and give it a try. Really, my main issue then is just too many players on the board mess each other's patterns up too much, and it detracts. It kind of will slow everything down. You felt like you were making progress, and somebody just, messed you up. So stick with 2 players, and you're going to find something here that is very beautiful and disarming and almost soothing in a way. So there you go. That's what I think of it. For me, this one's going to get because of the sort of the place it puts me in my mind, this is going to get a 7.5 out of 10. I think if you're someone who dislikes luck, you can drop that a solid point at least, okay? If you're someone who really likes what's going on here, you like the theme, you like the fact that this is a really neat game from India, then you can keep it at that point at 7.5 or even kick it up some more. If you're someone who's a collector, for example, you're going to want this, I think. This is really neat. So there you go. That is Ettana, everybody. I liked it. I had fun with it. That's going to get, like I said, a 7.5 out of 10. So my name is Garcia. Thank you very much for watching this with me, and I'll see you on the next one.